Hey gun carriers, how you doing? It's Josh here. I just figured I would do a quick little video to show you how to take down an AR-15 for those of you who have never done it before, and I'll also go over some of the various parts on the AR-15. So this is an AR-15. This is one that I built recently from an 80% lower from 80% Arms and a Palmetto State Armory assembled upper end parts kit. As usual, the first thing you want to do is make sure that there is no round in the chamber. So my bolt is open and there is no round in the chamber. So to take down an AR-15, there are two takedown pins. First, you want to send the bolt home. So what you want to do is push in the back pin and pull it out, and then the AR-15 pivots like so. From this point, you can pull out the bolt carrier group and the charging handle. You'll want to take the bolt carrier group out first, and then the charging handle slides out and down. And then you can flip it over and you can push out the other pin. Some people may need a tool for this because these can be in there pretty tight. Now that is your upper assembly there. Here is your lower assembly. To finish taking this lower apart, you want to remove the buffer tube and buffer spring. There is a little spring actuated nipple, for lack of a better term, that you want to push down, and then you can pull the buffer tube and spring out. Now this is a fully broken down, field stripped AR-15. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some function tests with it just to make sure that everything looks like it's working properly. So I'm going to take my thumb, I'm going to put it here on this hammer, and then I'm going to take my trigger finger and press the trigger. And you'll see that the hammer went up, and now the trigger is still holding the trigger finger is still holding the trigger down. I'm going to push the hammer back down, and then I'm going to release it. So far, so good. I'm going to do that a few different times. Then I'm going to flip the safety on, and then nothing should happen when the safety is on. Good. That is a functioning trigger group. Now I'm going to talk very quickly about the bolt carrier, which is the entire assembly here. This is the bolt carrier. To pull this apart the rest of the way, there is a small cotter pin right in here. You can just stick maybe a corner of your fingernail in there or something like that. That pulls out, and then the firing pin comes out. And a little this part here is a cam. The cam comes out and you twist it a little bit. It's supposed to come out. There we go. And then the bolt comes out, the bolt face. This is the bolt face. This thing is the bolt. And you want to inspect it and make sure that there's no damage on here at all. Make sure that everything looks good. This thing, as you can see, is due for a cleaning. I've got about 200 rounds through it since my last time shooting it. Now, you also want to inspect. You want to inspect everything, make sure that there's no damage. I should technically be running some cleaning tools over this, but I'm not going to. So this is the cam hole here. You want to align this cam hole up with this bottom part of this hole here, when you insert it. You rotate it a little bit until it pops in. It only goes in one way. And then you wiggle it out just enough until those two holes are aligned. And you can stick your cam pin in. Sheesh. And then you rotate it so that it's like that there. And then you can stick your firing pin down inside. And then you can put your cotter pin in. The cotter pin only goes in one way. You can see there is, it's kind of divoted out a little bit as to it only being a hole on this side, so it only goes in one way. Then you just check to make sure that it's all good, nothing's falling out. Now when you go to put the bolt carrier group back in, you want to make sure that the bolt is not in the in position. You want to make sure it's the out position, otherwise the cam pin will hit the top of the or the side, I should say, of the upper receiver. So you want to make sure that it's out like this. Now I'm going to just pull these hand guards off really quick just to show you what's in here. Do it the right way. So here's the inside of a handguard. This is a heat shield to keep the plastic from melting, the polymer, I should say. This is the barrel. This is the gas tube here. Front sight, gas block, A2 flash hider. This is a 16-inch barrel, which is the minimum you can have before it needs to be registered as a NFA item. This is a forward assist. Dust cover, and I'm just going to go over the rest of the parts here. This is the magazine release button here. This is the bolt catch here. Safety trigger group, takedown pins, butt stock. This is a 6-position stock, pistol grip, and that is, as far as I can tell, all of the parts of this rifle. So now I'm just going to show you how to put it back together. It only goes back together really one way. So that's that. Now, just to put it back together, you put the charging handle in first. You put it in through the bolt carrier group hole, and then you kind of put upward pressure on it until it slides up. Then you put it in about halfway. Remember, the bolt has to be out of the bolt carrier group. Then you just kind of slide that in like that. You push that forward, and now that sits home. To send this home, the buffer spring and the buffer tube, you just kind of stick it back in and push until it goes past the little nipple, and then that is ready. To put the two pieces back together, the upper and the lower, you just simply line up the holes, push the pins in, and you're good to go. So now what I'm going to do is make sure everything works. So I pulled the bolt carrier group back. I locked the bolt carrier in the back position. I'm going to send it home. Everything looks good. It's on semi. I'm going to do a function test. And that's good to go. That's how you break down an AR-15. Thanks for tuning in.